I'm Theron Q. Ramacharaka. Recently, I experienced a period of discouragement regarding the material that I post here in my channel regarding uh, practical instruction for self mastery, human evolvement, um, because I feel acutely the devaluation of life that is occurring on our planet. I've lived long enough to see many things become devalued. Now, while there is a push toward evolvement, yes, there is also very strong forces to negate the effects of that push. Very strong forces. And I have seen their effects during my lifetime, and I'm 58 years old. I've seen quite a bit. I've been around quite a lot. I've been a lot of places, been around a lot of kinds of people, and have been involved in many kinds of events at many levels of society. Um, and had the good fortune, to be able to analyze affairs from both esoteric and exoteric points of view. And the picture is not a good one. The picture is not a good one, folks, and that's one of the reasons for my channel. But it is difficult. It is difficult to be aware and maintain a totally positive attitude at the same time, because there is a good reason for that old phrase, ignorance is bliss, because on this planet, there is some very, very evil stuff going on, and it's been going on for a very long time. And most people are not aware of the breadth and the depth of it. And the more one becomes aware of it, the more things can look quite hopeless for the human race. That's a fact. And so I have struggles. I myself, I have struggles now with this. There are times at which I just feel like all effort to help humanity evolve are just going nowhere. I mentioned this to somebody. Now, here we're coming to the real point here. I mentioned this to somebody lately. A viewer, a subscriber here. Somebody who has been in contact with me via email for quite some while and who has asked my advice on some rather deep things, and I have given it. I think I have given it thoroughly. When mentioning that I was considering maybe just shutting down my channel, screw it, because just things, it seems like nothing has any value anymore. I get a reply back by email from this individual that my behavior is not what William Walker Atkinson, the writer of many of the books here that I orate here on my channel, would not approve of this kind of thing. And I know it. You know it there, Theron. And your kind of thinking is just not manly. It's not manly. Now, this person who retorted in this way to me is half my age, and I know has less than half my life experience. Now, this kind of insult and criticism and judgment of somebody twice one's age certainly marks the devaluation, just another kind of devaluation that I see happening rampantly, and that is disrespect for elders' life experience and points of view over matters which somebody half my age hasn't even been long enough to experience. This just helps to prove the point of the devaluation of things. Let me give an analogy for you. not manly. What a farce. Not manly. That coming from somebody who apparently has very little idea yet in life of what it is to be manly. Anyway, let me give an analogy. Let's say you were born 100 years ago, right? And during the time you grew up, your childhood, all the green life, the plant life that's green on the planet was bright emerald green. Just bright emerald green, like you will find in the Seattle, Washington area. If you've ever been there, I have several times. It rains there a lot, and the green in the forests around Seattle is just bright green. Or in certain areas of Ireland, bright green, and it's luscious green color. Let's say the entire planet, everywhere where you saw green, that's the way it was. And during the 100 years that you've been alive, in this hypothetical case that we're using as an analogy here, you have seen all the earth green fade into a dull, depressing tone. No emerald green left. It's just not there. And you've not just seen it happen, you've not just seen the difference, but you have experienced the slow change. You have experienced it. The bright emerald green is locked into your psyche because it was part of your childhood. When you were a child, you took it for granted because you knew nothing different. But you have experienced the disappearance of that beautiful life color. You have seen it fade. You have seen people do it. You have seen people cause it. You have watched it happen and you have felt it. You have been impacted by that and you know it. And when you think about it, sometimes you feel like standing up and engaging in the good fight in favor of if its return or slowing down its disappearance, and other times you feel like just sitting down and saying, this is just a losing battle. Because it hurts. It hurts, and you feel beaten sometimes, and you admit it. And almost every time, when you sit down and you feel like just pulling your hair out, or crying, or saying to somebody, this is just screwed up, I quit. I'm done. I throw my hands up, I'm done. Give it a couple of days, expressing this, feeling this, going through it. You give yourself 3 days. And out of it, you come up with a new and better plan. Like Phoenix bird rising from the ashes. You let yourself go ahead and in a very, very manly manner, experience it, go through it, and figure out something better. But, meanwhile, some young wise ass comes up to you who never knew anything really green in his life, never experienced any of it, says, oh, you're just angry. You're not manly. William Walker Atkinson wouldn't approve of this behavior. As though you give a damn what William Walker Atkinson would think. And you happen to believe that he would understand it quite well if you did care about what he thought. Not manly. What a joke. And to judge somebody to judge you, who has been alive during that 100 years and has seen the change and know damn well that you're talking about something that's actual and true, and acknowledging the impact that it has on the human psyche, including your share of it, to then be talked down to like that by somebody who has no clue, obviously has no clue, I think you would turn around to that person and say, that is unacceptable, and you do not know what you're talking about. Now, back to the actual case here. Something else that I notice that is devalued in addition to money, consumer products, the notion of value in itself, the good green earth, human kindness, is respect for elders and their life experience, their points of view, their feelings about affairs, and the like. There's a devaluation of that too. There's a devaluation going on of just about everything in life, and if you are too young to have noticed that, and you just take for granted whatever there is right now, get ready, because you might get older and find that things are further devalued from this point. And yourself look back and wonder what the hell happened, and hang your head in despair sometimes and say, I just feel like giving up some days. I just feel like tearing apart everything I've tried to do because it feels like it was a waste of time. You might come to that point of view. So if you hear that expressed by somebody else far older and wiser than you, and you want to step up and say, take it like a man, you're not being manly, William Walker Atkinson wouldn't like this. You know it darn well. You're just an angry, sorry old sob. Perhaps you should check yourself. Or put the other person in check if the person is saying that to you when you get older. Put them in check. Draw their attention to the fact that there is some seriously dark stuff going on this planet. Seriously dark stuff. And that the sooner young people wake up to that fact and understand it, and listen to those far older, the better. Because, folks, it is possible for that phoenix bird to arise from the ashes and make something better. But those ashes must be crawled in first. Don't put somebody down if they are crawling in the ashes for a moment. And be aware of the truth of what's going on this planet, and it has been going on for quite a long time. It's a very serious and solemn matter. And if you feel discouraged sometimes, that's fine. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because it is discouraging. Just like somebody who was in a movie, some character in a movie, who was being initiated into the CIA and was going through CIA agent training at a place called The Farm, where the training takes place, was asked during a psych test to see if he was psychologically fit for the job, was asked, how do you feel in an angering situation, sir? And his answer was, angry. He passed the test with flying colors. I'm Thuran Q. Ramacharakan. Be well.